I have a less than 1 year old DeLonghi BC0330T combination espresso and coffee maker that doesn't seem to be any power getting to anything. It just won't turn on. So from everything I've seen on the internet, it looks like it is probably related to the thermal fuse. We're going to take step by step and document opening up the unit and check out the fuses and see what happens. Ideally, make sure that everything is taken off the unit, which is common sense, and a good opportunity to clean everything. And we're going to start from the bottom, and there's some special screws there, Torx security type of screws, and I had to get a special bit in order to get it out. I'll be taking a photo of the base and make arrows as to where the screws are. This is very good and important to document where all the screws go, so that when you put it back together again, you won't have any extra parts. I took the two thermal fuses, you can see by the orange tubing, there's a little snap. There's two black snaps that hold it close to the coil in order so to get a good picture of the actual thermal fuse. There's one on each side, and they plug into a thermostat. So in essence, it could be both thermal fuses are bad and the thermostat. Two wires for the plug attached there. I tested both sides of the thermal fuse with an ohm meter, and there's no continuity, and that's a good indication that both of those fuses are blown. I'm going to see if I can find any alligator clips to run a wire from here to here and from here to here to bypass the fuse, just to see if I can get power to come onto the display here. Made two connectors to bypass the first thermal fuse, and then the other one in the back there to bypass the other thermal fuse. So if in fact those are bad, when I turn the switch, I should get no power. Well, got power. So what I need to do is to get replacement thermal fuses, install it, and then put some water in it and see if it heats up. If it heats up, then this item here, the thermostat, is okay. In fact, I can smell, just for the short period of time that it was on, one of the boilers heated up. Good sign. While the bottom is off, there's a series of screws at the bottom that you can see trying to capture, and they would have to be removed. I think there's 7 in order to get to the seal on the nozzle. This part, if that's leaking. Kind of tedious to get to, but shouldn't be any problem. Just make sure you keep track of where the screws, if they're long or short, and that will allow you to put it back together again without any extra parts. Received the new thermal fuses. Have one end attached. You can see the bell is going towards the orange insulation. Now to attach the second part. Have both sides of the thermal fuse attached. Now cover it with the plastic sleeve. Both thermal fuses are installed, placed underneath the plastic shield. Now I have to put them underneath that bar that goes over the coil. The 5 Torx tamper-proof screws have been put in, 2 in the rear and 3 in the front. Now follow the instructions to turn it on, add some water, see what happens. All put together. I'm now going to plug it in before I add any water, just to see if in fact we have power. And we do have power. I'm going to turn on the coffee maker first. You can see the blinking digital display. Yes, power. See if the Expresso will come on. Power. Good sign. Now I'm going to follow the instructions explicitly to run a batch of water through the coffee maker and a batch through the Expresso maker. I set the time in hours and minutes, and I filled the reservoir with water. Didn't put any coffee or filters. I'm just going to make a run through the drip coffee. It's in the process of heating up. I can hear, sounds like some bubbling. About 3 minutes so far. You can hear it gurgling. I don't see any water coming into the carafe. After about almost 10 minutes, I turned it off because I didn't see anything come out into the carafe. I'm going to read the instructions carefully. Now I'm going to try the Expresso. Just going to push the button. See, the arm is up in the cup position. Beginning to hear, I guess, some heating up of the water inside the boiler. Beginning to come through pretty fast because there's no coffee there. Opened up the bottom of the unit again and to examine these hoses. One is coming from the reservoir and one is going to the drip where the coffee is. You can see that there's a ball valve or some kind of valve. Looks like there's all kinds of calcium, so we're going to take that off and see what we can find and clean it. Took that ball valve out and cleaned it really well with vinegar, and it's much freer moving now. Let's see how it works. All put back together again, plugged in, set the time, going to turn it on and see how it goes. After 1 minute, you can hear it beginning to boil. The unit has been put back together again. We found that the reason the water wasn't going into the coffee and draining through it into the carafe was because the hose coming from below to the top was disconnected. Going to do a run with coffee and another run with espresso. Water is already coming out within 2 minutes. Seems to be operating fine. Collected about 4 cups so far out of 6. It's been approximately 5-6 minutes. Seems to be working fine. Looks like it's coming up to 6 cups. And it's probably just getting the rest of the water out of the boiler, producing the steam you can see coming out the back. Ideally, once it's done, it should shut off and the power to the plate will remain on for a period of time to keep the coffee hot. Looking good. I'm now going to repeat a batch of espresso. That should take the rest of a couple of minutes. The water is already in the chamber, in the boiler, and I'm going to turn that knob to the upright position to the cup to collect. It took approximately 2 minutes for you to hear the boiling in the boiling chamber. The water should be coming out shortly. About 3 minutes, the water started coming through pretty quickly. I'm sure it'll be a lot slower when the coffee is in there. I'm going to collect the 4 ounces and 4 cups.